In Ultimate Treehouse, each player has a crew of adorable forest creatures helping them build the treehouse of their dreams. Using action cards to gather construction materials or special bonuses, players compete to end the game with the most spectacular treehouse. But be careful, the weather changes each round of the game and can help or hurt your building efforts. Players have 10 days to build their treehouse. 1 day for each weather card placed out during setup. A day is 1 round in a game where players take turns adding new features to their trees. Make sure to start each round by looking at the cards showing today's weather and tomorrow's forecast. Today's weather affects all players' turns for the current round, and tomorrow's forecast shows what the weather will be for next round. Knowing the weather for both days will help you plan out your turns more strategically. The player that woke up earliest this morning will go first, so give them the first player token. Turn order will then go clockwise around the table. On a player's turn, they will do a few things. The first is simple: draw 1 new card from the action deck. Second is the main part of the game, the play and build phase. In this phase, you can play 1 action card and build new parts of your treehouse. You can do these in either order you'd like: play then build, or build then play. Or you can even skip one of those steps if you'd like. Usually though, you'll play an action card first because that's how you get the resources needed to build. About half the action cards are used to collect resources from the supply that was placed around the board. To play an action card, follow the text on the card and then place it in the discard pile. Now let's talk about building. First, the items you're building for your treehouse are called elements, and building them is called purchasing. So anytime you see those words on a card, that's what it's talking about. To purchase an element on your turn, look at the 4 items for sale in the store. Then spend the resources shown in the bottom right corner of the element, placing those specific ones back in the supply. If you have enough resources, you can even build more than 1 element on your turn. But the store doesn't get refilled until your turn ends, so you need to pick from the remaining items. Now, if you don't have the correct resources to purchase an element you want, you can substitute by using 2 of the same type of resource in place of another. For example, I might want to build this element but only have 5 wood. I could use 2 wood in place of the 1 rope, another 2 wood to cover the fastener cost, and the last 1 for the wood it did need. Once an element is purchased, it is placed in your treehouse. If you look at your mat, you'll see there are 14 outlined squares on it. You can tell which element is meant to go in each square by comparing the background of the element with the spaces on the mat. For example, you can see that this element has the same tree and leaf features as this square of the mat, so that's where it's placed once it's built. There are 2 important rules to remember when building your elements. First, most of the elements can only be built once per player. You'll know these because they show a single leaf in the corner. But for elements with multiple leaves, try and build more than 1 of them. The numbers on the leaves show the number of points earned for building that element. So a single leaf like this gives you a flat 4 points. But with multiple leaves like these, building more of them will gain you more points. If I only built 1 of them, I would get 3 points. However, if I could build a second, those 2 are now worth 7 points. Note, this is 7 points total, not 7 points each. And when placing these multi-build elements, they should be stacked on top of each other on their designated spot on the mat. The second building rule has to do with the colors of the squares on the mat. You'll see that 11 have white borders and 3 have yellow borders. The yellow bordered squares are for the core elements, and the white squares are for all other items, which are called accessory elements. The 3 core elements are only single build items, but any player able to build all 3 of them by the end of the game receives 3 bonus points. Once the play and build phase is done, players must discard down to the hand limit of 5 cards. Most of the time, players will already have 5 cards in their hand at this point and they won't need to worry about discarding. But some action cards can give you extra cards. In this case, just choose 5 to keep and place the rest in the discard pile. And to end your turn, flip over cards from the store deck to fill any openings in the store, and then the next player goes. After every player has had a turn in the round, a new day starts. Take the weather card in the forecast spot and place it on top of today's weather card. Then draw the next weather card from the deck, place it face up on the forecast spot, and start a new round. After playing the round with the last card in today's weather space, the game ends. Everyone should add up all the points on the elements they've built. Don't forget to count your multi-build elements, as well as the 3 bonus points if you're able to get all 3 core elements. The player with the most total victory points is the winner and has built the ultimate treehouse.